Hi guys, this is Paul Loves to Read, and this channel is all about spreading the love and joy for literature and reading. I hope our little channel help you pick out the right book for you. For today, we're going to talk about the book Fairest by Meredith Talusan. It's a memoir, and I think it's quite a special book. So obviously, it's about Meredith. It's about her life, and in a nutshell, she is born a boy. She's also what we call in the Philippines anak araw or sun child or albino to be precise. So she is born with fair skin, with white skin and blonde hair, being anak araw, being a sun child. Her having light skin, her having white skin, made her special by default in a country where being white, being fair is an advantage. And this was back in the 70s, mga ganyan, 70s, 80s, so it was a big deal. And I guess I have to say something more because yun nga, I said she was born a boy, right? She was born a boy, but then she grew up and found herself and then finally transitioned to to her true self now. And she is now Meredith. She was born Mark. She's now Meredith. What's special about the book for me is that, for me, it's unique. I haven't really read anything like this before. And more so that it's a memoir, so it's it's real life, and more so if she's Filipino American, so that's kind of extra special for me. And what the reader would take away from this is just give you a deeper insight and a better understanding. If you think that you understand, I mean, now it's not taboo, right? We talk about it. We can't talk about it. It's more open now compared to the previous decades. And you see it everywhere in TV series, in the drama, in the movies, and you think you know, right? You think you know about it. But for me, when I read the book, it's different. It gave me that another deeper layer of insight and deeper understanding. And another word that I use is, it's reading it is such a humbling experience. It's humbling because you don't really know. You don't really know what she has gone through. It's humbling to me because I realize that I don't really know that much. It's a good book. It's definitely a good book. I would not recommend it to everyone only because I don't think everybody's ready for it. But maybe that's the point, right? Maybe if you feel like you're not ready for it, then maybe that's why you should read it, as ironic as that sounds. It's not an easy read. It's very very explicit. There's a lot of sex in here. There's a lot of topics that are not for everybody. Perhaps some might be scandalized by her story, and to me, honestly, if you feel like it's scandalous, then that's part of the problem, because it shouldn't be scandalizing. It should be, is that a word, scandalizing? It shouldn't be scandalous. It's a book about having the courage to become yourself. In Meredith's case, it sounded like she has always known deep down what she wanted to be and what she is meant to be, but the courage to get there was the struggle. I guess she is fortunate enough, I suppose, that she got into Harvard and she managed to find like-minded individuals, and it came at a point wherein she was allowed to express herself and experiment a lot. So that was her struggle, and I would say that was the height, or that was the peak of her struggle in trying to find her identity. This is not just a sexual awakening. It is beyond sexual awakening. The sexual awakening is part of it, but it's really more of an identity awakening, identity crisis, because another interesting thing is that when she moved to the US and she got into Harvard, because of her white skin and her blonde hair, people did not think that she is Asian. She does not look like Asian, right? She looks like somebody from Europe, or she doesn't look Filipino. So that kind of stuck. So she figured, okay, I'm not going to be Filipino. So she pretended to be not Filipino. She just went with it. When people assumed that she's from Europe, and then, yeah, sure, I'm from Europe. So she didn't say that she's she's Filipino, that's one thing. And then people assume that he's straight. So, okay, fine. If you think I'm straight, then I'm straight. But really, he's not straight. And he had this, you know, other sexual preference. And that's fine. But I guess my point is, it's all of those things all at once at a young age in school. And she was alone. So it must have been difficult. There were parts in the book wherein she said that when she looks at the mirror, she doesn't recognize herself, and she couldn't recognize the person in front of her, the reflection. And for me personally, I can't imagine how does that happen? How is it that you look at the mirror and you don't recognize yourself? But for her, it's like that. So the difficulty, that was the challenge. It was such a, for me, it feels like such a lonely struggle to, for one thing, to be white on the outside but brown in the inside. And then another thing is to be male on the outside but female on the inside. It's beyond that because she is not just gay. She wants to be a woman. She wants to transition fully into a woman. So eventually she did. She's a woman now, but I don't know if she went through with the surgery. I think she did. It's a good book. I would recommend, to when you read this, if and when you read it, have an open mind, have an open heart. You're not there. You're not here to be judgmental. You're here to learn and understand. And this is a good book to start.